Welcome back to the channel USD Coins, to another exciting deep dive into the fascinating world of rare coins, history, and big money treasures that might just be hiding in plain sight. Today, we're unraveling the incredible story of one of the most talked about coins in numismatic circles, the legendary 1986 Liberty 1-cent coin, a coin that some collectors and experts claim could be worth up to $3 million. Yes, that's right. A penny, something most of us wouldn't bother to pick up off the ground, could potentially command a multi-million-dollar price tag because of a combination of extraordinary errors, minting mistakes, and sheer rarity. Whether you're a seasoned collector, an everyday enthusiast, or just someone who enjoys the thrill of a good treasure hunt, this episode is for you. Now, let's get right into it. When people hear about a coin from 1986 being worth millions, the initial reaction is usually skepticism. After all, 1986 wasn't that long ago in the grand scope of coin collecting. It's not like we're talking about a colonial coin from the 1700s or something made of gold or silver. We're talking about a modern, copper-plated zinc penny. But, as you'll learn today, numismatics is full of surprises. Coins are like historical time capsules, small metal objects that carry with them stories, human errors, and sometimes the kind of quirks that make collectors lose their minds and wallets. So, what is the deal with the 1986 Liberty 1-cent coin, and why is it even remotely possible for it to be valued at $3 million? It all starts with understanding how coins are made, what mint errors are, how rarity is determined, and why certain flaws can drive prices through the roof. In the case of the 1986 penny, there's a swirling legend that centers on several extremely rare minting anomalies, some so bizarre and so rare that they elevate the value of a seemingly worthless coin into the stratosphere. To appreciate this, let's first talk about the background of the 1986 penny. In 1986, the United States Mint produced pennies that featured the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, the so-called Lincoln cent. This design has been in use since 1909, when it was introduced to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. On the reverse side, from 1959 until 2008, the penny featured the Lincoln Memorial. The composition of the coin had changed a few years earlier in 1982, shifting from primarily copper to a zinc core with a thin copper plating. This change was made to save on metal costs, but it also introduced a range of new challenges for the minting process. Now, under normal circumstances, a 1986 penny is not rare. Hundreds of millions were made across several mint locations, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. These are identified by their respective mint marks: No mint mark for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. But what if something went wrong in the production process, something so fundamentally off that it turned a common coin into a numismatic unicorn? That's where we come to the heart of the matter. The 1986 Liberty 1-cent coin that has stirred so much buzz in the coin collecting world is believed to be an error coin, possibly involving a combination of rare mistakes. Let's break down what those potential errors and anomalies might be and why they could result in such astronomical value. Point one of the most talked about possibilities is a double die error. This occurs during the minting process when the coin die, the engraved stamp used to strike the coin, receives a misaligned impression from the hub. As a result, details on the coin, such as the date, lettering, or even Lincoln's portrait, may appear doubled. Now, double die errors are not unheard of in the coin world. The 1955 double die penny is one of the most famous examples and can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. If a legitimate, dramatic double die error were to be found on a 1986 penny, particularly a clear doubling on the date or liberty, it could drive serious collector interest, but doubling alone likely wouldn't explain a $3 million price tag. That kind of valuation suggests something even more dramatic. One theory is that there exists a coin struck on the wrong planchet. A planchet is the blank metal disc that becomes a coin after being stamped. On rare occasions, a coin can be struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination or even a foreign coin. For example, a Lincoln cent struck on a dime planchet or on a bronze planchet leftover from before 1982 would be extremely rare. If a 1986 cent were struck on a pre-1982 copper planchet, or even more unusually, on a completely wrong metal like silver or nickel, that alone could make the coin a major anomaly. Now imagine if multiple errors occurred on a single coin. What if the coin was struck on the wrong planchet, had a double die, and also had an off-center strike? Off-center strikes occur when the blank planchet isn't correctly aligned within the press, causing the image to be stamped off to one side, sometimes so severely that parts of the design are missing. While these are relatively common among error coins, extreme off-center strikes, particularly when combined with other errors, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Then there are die cracks, die breaks, and cuds. These are the result of aging or damaged dies being used to strike coins. When the die begins to crack, the resulting coins will display raised lines or blobs of metal in the affected areas. Cuds are caused by a piece of the die breaking off, leading to a blank area on the coin. Some collectors are fascinated by these kinds of flaws, especially when they are prominent and well-defined. There's also the possibility of a missing mint mark or an incorrect mint mark. While 1986 saw a regular production of proof coins from the San Francisco Mint with an S mint mark, finding a coin that appears to be struck as a proof but lacks a mint mark could suggest a serious error or experimental strike. Similarly, a Denver or Philadelphia penny that mistakenly bears an S mint mark, or any other unusual variation, could be considered highly significant. Adding to the mystery are rumors and isolated reports of 1986 cents with mismatched reverses, such as a Lincoln Memorial reverse paired with a wheat ears reverse from an earlier era. While these are likely fantasy pieces or altered coins, the existence of even one authentic transitional error, such as a reverse design from a different year or denomination, would send shockwaves through the collecting community. Now let's talk about the psychological and economic drivers of such extreme valuations. Why would someone pay $3 million for a penny? The answer lies not just in rarity, but in the concept of desirability and provenance. If a coin is unique or nearly so, and it has a well-documented history, and especially if it has been authenticated and graded by a reputable third-party service like PCGS or NGC, it enters a different realm of collecting, one driven by ultra-high-net-worth individuals seeking trophy assets. Coins like the 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle, which sold for over $18 million, or the 1794 Flowing Hair Dollar, which fetched over $10 million, prove that collectors are willing to pay staggering sums for historically significant coins. The $3 million figure attached to the 1986 Liberty 1-cent coin might sound inflated, but if the right combination of errors, authenticity, and provenance come together, it's not out of the question. Let's also consider the role of mystery and the human desire to uncover hidden treasures. Coins like this ignite imaginations. They create legends. And in the numismatic world, legends drive the market. Stories get passed around. Someone found a strange penny in their change, it looked off, it felt heavier or lighter, the date looked doubled, the mint mark seemed wrong, and suddenly you have a gold rush of people checking their pocket change and coin jars. Some of the buzz about the 1986 penny may also stem from misunderstandings, misidentifications, or even internet hoaxes. But that doesn't mean that valuable error coins don't exist. In fact, every year, new discoveries are made by sharp-eyed collectors who know what to look for and who understand the nuance of minting errors. So what should you look for if you want to try your luck at finding one of these rare 1986 Liberty 1-cent treasures? First, get familiar with the weight. Pre-1982 pennies were made of 95% copper and weigh about 3.11 grams. Post-1982 pennies are made of zinc and weigh about 2.5 grams. If you find a 1986 penny that weighs significantly more than 2.5 grams, it might have been struck on a leftover copper planchet, or possibly something even more exotic. Next, examine the coin under magnification. Look closely at the date, the word Liberty, and the motto "In God We Trust." Any clear signs of doubling could point to a valuable error. Check the reverse side too, paying attention to the Lincoln Memorial, the words United States of America, and 1 cent. Also, look at the edges and rim. Are they properly formed? Is the strike clean and even? Off-center strikes, weak strikes, or partial designs could indicate minting errors. And don't forget to examine the mint mark. Make sure it's consistent with known characteristics from that year. Missing mint marks, misaligned mint marks, or unusual fonts can all be signs of something valuable. Today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating stories in the world of numismatics, the incredible tale of the 1999 D. Lincoln cent, also known as the Liberty 1 cent USA coin, which has captivated collectors around the globe. Believe it or not, this humble penny, struck at the Denver Mint, has made headlines for a jaw-dropping face value of $2 million. That's right, a coin that's worth only a single cent in circulation has somehow climbed its way into the multi-million-dollar club. You might be wondering how something so ordinary can become so extraordinarily valuable. Stay tuned, because we're going to take a deep and detailed journey into what makes this coin so rare, what mistakes and minting errors occurred, and why collectors are willing to pay such an astronomical price for it. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises. Every now and then, a particular coin rises above its intended value due to a series of extraordinary circumstances. Whether it's an accidental minting error, a rare variation, or a historical curiosity, these anomalies can transform loose change into a collector's holy grail. And the 1999 D. Lincoln cent is one such marvel. Most people wouldn't give a second glance to a penny dated 1999, especially one with the D. mint mark indicating it was produced in Denver. But this isn't just any penny. The 1999 D. Liberty 1 cent coin has a unique confluence of errors and variations that, when combined, have led some examples to be valued as high as $2 million. This isn't hype or myth. It's the fascinating reality of what can happen when precision manufacturing goes slightly off course in the most intriguing ways. Let's begin with the basics. The 1999 Lincoln cent is part of the long-running series featuring President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front, of the coin. This design, created by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to mark Lincoln's 100th birthday, has been used with slight modifications ever since. The reverse side of the coin in 1999 still featured the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to commemorate Lincoln's 150th birthday. So, on the surface, this coin might seem entirely normal, even mundane. But beneath its unassuming exterior lies a mystery and a story of human error, mechanical imperfection, and extraordinary scarcity. Now, let's look closely at the D. mint mark. This indicates the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the U.S. Mint's primary production facilities. The Denver Mint has a long history of producing billions of coins annually, and with such massive volumes, mistakes, though rare, do happen. In the case of the 1999 D. penny, a particular batch was produced with errors so significant and so unusual that collectors have been scrambling to find surviving specimens ever since. The value skyrocketed not just because of a single error, but because of a series of compounded mistakes that rarely, if ever, occur together. These mistakes, when found on one coin, are what make it not just rare, but nearly one-of-a-kind. One of the most commonly discussed errors associated with the 1999 D. penny involves double striking. This happens when a coin is struck more than once by the dies, resulting in a doubling of images, letters, or features. In the case of the 1999 D. Liberty cent, some examples exhibit a strikingly clear doubling on the obverse side, particularly in the word Liberty, the motto, "In God We Trust," and Lincoln's profile. This type of doubling is not the result of die deterioration or common mechanical doubling. It is genuine double die, which means the die itself was misaligned during production. These double dies are often prized among collectors because they are considered true minting errors, not just post-strike damage, but doubling is just the beginning. Some 1999 D. Liberty cents also feature dramatic off-center strikes, where the coin wasn't properly aligned in the press when struck. This causes part of the design to be missing or incomplete, often leading to fascinating and visually striking results. In extreme cases, more than 20% of the design is missing, and this misalignment further increases the coin's rarity. Combine a double die with an off-center strike, and you already have a coin that is far from ordinary. Then there's the issue of planchet errors. The planchet is the blank piece of metal on which the design is struck. Occasionally, these blanks are improperly prepared, either in terms of size, shape, or metal composition. Some reports claim that certain 1999 D pennies were struck on experimental planchets, possibly intended for foreign coinage, or struck on blanks meant for other denominations entirely. A penny struck on a dime blank, for example, would be smaller in diameter and lighter in weight. These kinds of wrong planchet errors are incredibly rare and fetch high prices at auction. Now, imagine a 1999 D penny that combines multiple errors, a double die, off-center strike, and struck on the wrong planchet. That alone would make it extremely collectible. But it doesn't stop there. There are also cases of reverse die rotation, where the reverse side of the coin is misaligned with the obverse. This can result in coins that appear to be upside down when flipped. This sort of rotational misalignment is another layer of error that adds to the value. To complicate matters further, some collectors have noted anomalies in the texture and finish of certain 1999 D Liberty cents. These may include unusual luster patterns, incorrect polishing, or even retained grease or debris marks that created ghost-like images across the surface. In some extreme examples, there appear to be foreign objects embedded in the coin's metal, likely due to contamination during the minting process. These kinds of contaminants can create blotchy appearances or faint, unintended impressions that are wholly unique to each coin. When a coin combines so many of these errors, especially if they occurred in a single minting run, it becomes not only rare, but historically significant. We're talking about a coin that defies the odds at every level, from its base metal to its final strike. Each of these errors might be rare on their own, but when they coexist in one coin, the value can soar. That's exactly what seems to have happened with a few confirmed examples of the 1999 D Liberty cent, which have been evaluated by professional grading services and authenticated as having multiple errors, setting record-breaking values in private sales and auctions. Another factor that cannot be ignored is the coin's condition. In numismatics, grade is everything. A mint-state error coin with no wear and strong visual appeal is exponentially more valuable than the same coin in circulated condition. Some 1999 D Liberty cents have been discovered in near-perfect condition, possibly preserved shortly after minting or found in mint sets. The combination of pristine quality and extreme rarity creates the perfect storm for high valuation. This is where values in the millions come into play. The record claims of a $2 million valuation likely stem from private offers or estimates based on rarity and collector demand. While auction prices are often lower, a one-of-a-kind error in mint state could indeed command such a sum from a serious collector. Let's also explore the psychological element. In collecting, the story behind an item is often just as important as the item itself. The 1999 D penny doesn't just have errors, it has a narrative. It's a coin that represents a fleeting moment of imperfection in an otherwise exacting minting process. The idea that something as common and overlooked as a penny could be worth millions inspires awe and a sense of mystery. It challenges us to look closer, to inspect every detail, and to treasure the ordinary. As stories of these rare coins circulate online, in forums, and at coin shows, the legend grows. People begin inspecting their own change, hoping to find the golden ticket of coin collecting. And while only a few of these error coins may exist, the hunt continues. It fuels a market driven by possibility and passion. Collectors are dreamers, and coins like the 1999 D Liberty cent turn dreams into reality. Some experts speculate that only a handful of these multi-error coins were ever produced, perhaps as few as 3 or 4. Others believe there may be more still out there, unnoticed in drawers, piggy banks, or sealed coin rolls. The rarity adds to the mystique. If every collector believes they might find one, the demand and interest continue to soar, and with it, so does the potential value. Beyond the errors and anomalies, the 1999 D Liberty cent taps into something more profound, the magic of discovery. Every coin is a snapshot of history, an artifact that passes through countless hands. But every so often, one coin is different, an outlier, a mistake, a miracle. The 1999 D penny is such a coin. It reminds us that perfection isn't always the most valuable trait. Sometimes, it's the flaws that make something priceless. So, if you ever come across a 1999 D penny, take a closer look. Examine the lettering for doubling. Check for misalignment, unusual textures, or size discrepancies. Look at the finish and rotation. You never know, you might be holding one of the rarest coins in modern American history. And who knows? That tiny piece of copper and zinc might just be worth more than your house.